Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke. Welcome back to Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. In the last episode, we read about the impossible puzzle, ahead of his time, crystalline butterflies, the perfect murder, and the corpse magnet. This time, we're going to be starting with the painted aircraft and going through ancient containment site, strange contact lenses, birthday time, and a bitwise amoeba. Whatever that's going to be. So, let's check out that aircraft. Well, it's Euclid. Prior to crash, alright. SCP-556 is stored in a secure hangar at site someplace. No materials containing any ink, dye, or paint may enter the red zone, establishing a 50-meter radius around 556. In the case of a runoff incident from accidental introduction of raw material into 556, the containment area must be locked down for a minimum of 48 hours pending re-evaluation of 556 via remote exploration. Personnel working within the red zone must be paired at all times, and any missing personnel are to be reported immediately. Description: SCP-556 is the recovered wreckage of the Varig cargo flight PP Vlu, a Boeing 707-323C that crashed approximately 320 kilometers east-northeast of Tokyo, Japan on January 30th, 1979. Is that a thing that actually happened? I don't know if I should look it up. I don't want to get, put on a watch list or nothing. At the time, the aircraft was carrying 153 paintings when a Foundation listening post picked up an anomalous Mayday signal from the flight. Officially, the aircraft disappeared without a trace and no wreckage was ever recovered. Okay, so there's no way I was going to find anything about that if it was real. Foundation assets were able to recover SCP-556 mostly intact at a depth of blank meters on blank 1979 and transported the wreckage to site blank, where it remains today. The exterior of 556 has sustained extensive damage consistent with a high-speed impact into water, followed by exposure at crush depth. Despite this, the interior is mostly intact and was in fact discovered dry at time of recovery, and 86% covered by a layer of paint. Spectroscopic and chemical analysis has shown this layer to be a mixture of the paint on the paintings carried by the plane on its last flight, with traces of human DNA. The paint forms a continuous static scene depicting a large industrial complex in which several human figures are being data expunged. At time of discovery, no physical remains with the cargo or the 6 crew members could be found. An initial survey showed that the painted scene contained 68 uniquely identified individuals, of which several have shown incredible similarities to depictions and photographs of the missing crew. Addendum 1. Translated excerpt from the damaged cockpit voice recorder, CVR, recovered from 556. Unintelligible. Coming up from the cargo hold, unintelligible. Unintelligible. Got unintelligible. Close the... Unintelligible. Unintelligible with screaming. Unintelligible. Mayday, this is... going down... Mayday! 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 Ah! End of transcript. Loss of onboard power. Addendum 2. On blank 1980 something, an attempt to transfer the paint from the interior to another medium was made. It subsequently data expunged within a 200-meter radius. Subsequent analysis now shows 217 unique individuals within the scene, and coverage of the cabin walls has increased to 91%. Further attempts to remove the paint have been suspended pending further investigation into the incident. Addendum 3. On blank 1990 something, a disposable maintenance worker with extensive tattoos over 46% of his body accidentally walked within the red zone of 556 and was immediately data expunged. Current figure count now stands at 218, with paint over 92% of the cabin walls. Class D personnel must now be screened for body tattoos before being allowed within the containment area of that SCP. So it seems like it's just eating people to paint the inside of the plane, and something is probably going to happen when it hits 100%. Ancient containment site. Will it be an ancient SCP containment site, or is it something else? Procedures. As it is not possible to relocate 557, Research Site 29 has been built surrounding it. Geographic and aerial surveys of the area have been altered to make it appear to be empty desert with no viable archaeological or mineral features. On-site personnel have several tasks. Task 1. To prevent unauthorized observation of and access to 557. Despite its inhospitable location, several occult groups, including the Blankety Blank, appear to be aware of it and have shown an interest in it. Unauthorized personnel are to be taken into custody, interrogated, and dealt with appropriately. Anyone attempting to tunnel below level 5 or disturb the stone block in the floor of room 501 is to be terminated immediately. Task 2. To continue to attempt translation of the records found in 557. Task 3. To monitor the area for 557-1. 1 should be assumed to be Keter class and is to be captured if possible, otherwise terminated. Room 501, monitor Room 501 to serve as a strike team should anything emerge from beneath it. Description: SCP-557 is an An-Nar era tomb estimated to have been built circa 2400 BCE on a gravel plain in the empty quarter of northwestern Oman. Investigation of the surrounding area indicates it may be a part of the lost city of Ubar. It was discovered in 1988 during an inquiry into the disappearance of a geological survey team in the area, because it's always a disappearance in it. Unlike similar structures, it includes 5 underground levels constructed primarily of sandstone, apparently used as an ancient prison and containment site. Although living quarters and weapons for approximately blank staff/guards exist on level 1, the facility appears to have been abandoned slowly over the years and empty since circa 300 CE. Only 2 skeletons were found on level 1. A substantial library of records was found on level 1 in a number of ancient languages. Only the records in Egyptian and a final note left in Greek have been translated. Levels 2 and 3 are stated in the records to be a prison for heretics and sorcerers, but appear not to have been used for up to 1,000 years before the site was abandoned. Level 4 is described as a place for the abnormal. Skeletons resembling SCP blank and blank have been discovered locked away in stone cells, confirming the intent of the structure. Level 5 consists of a 51.2 meter long hallway filled with complex traps and deadfalls, leading to a single large 25.3 by 19.7 by 5.4 meter room designated as 501. Although all of the traps appear to have been sprung or cleared, researchers should exercise caution. The door to room 501, anachronistically composed of redacted, was found torn down from the inside. Based on the distribution of dust in this area, this event happened only approximately 20 years ago. In the center of the floor of room 501 is a partially buried 3.2 meter by 3.35 meter granite block, estimated to weigh 80,000 kilograms. The block is covered with untranslated runes. A similar thinner block stands in the room and shows evidence that a living being, designated 1, was chained to it using chains from the same material as the door. No evidence of the continued presence of 1 has been found. Translated records only refer to 1 as the prisoner, with the exception of one reference in Egyptian to the bastard son of Apep. I'm gonna search who Apep is. Also spelled Apepi or Apap or Apophis. Ancient Greek was the ancient Egyptian deity who embodied chaos, is Fit in Egyptian, and was thus the opponent of light and order and truth. He appears as a giant serpent. Okay. Translation of a note found in the records room. I will write in Greek so that any learned man who finds this place will understand. I am the last of the keepers, and I will be dead soon. The sands are taking this place, and perhaps it is for the best. The prisoner must not escape, and the gateway to the dark must never be opened. I do not think the gate can be moved, but who knows of the prisoner? Not even the gods could kill it, and it was only with their help that he was secured. Without the rituals, I do not know. Secure the door the best you can, and never move the stone. This seems like something that would have had an interesting tale attached to it, but it does not. Now let's check out some strange contact lenses. Okay, I'm about to say, they better not be Keter. SCP-558-1 in the eye of Dr. Somebody. Well, it's red and something seems to be going on. It's safe though, because they're just contact lenses. All items comprising 558 are to be kept in their cases in an equipment cabinet blanket research site someplace. Any personnel wishing to experiment with them may do so after completing standard documentation. Researchers wishing to test 5 must either themselves have level 3 clearance or have they written approval of at least 2 level 3 personnel. At this time, it is advised that only disposable dudes be allowed to interact with 5. Description: SCP-558 includes a number of different types of color contact lenses, divided by researchers into 5 categories by apparent properties. Currently, there are 10 of each contact lens in categories 1 through 4, and 6 lenses of group 5. Whereas normal contact lenses are fitted to a particular eye shaped by diameter and curvature, each individual lens in 558 seems to be able to conform to any eye shape. Testing is currently underway to determine the composition of the material without damaging the lenses. In their resting state, they have been observed to have a 10mm diameter and a 8.7mm base curve radius. Subjects using the lenses with prescriptions requiring different dimensions reported initial discomfort, then a tingling feeling as the lens is adjusted to the shape of their eyes. Rather than standard clear, each lens has a colored central portion slightly wider than the average human iris. The colors are red, violet, green, gray, and black. These colors seem to correspond to distinct properties, though all lenses appear to correct vision to 20/20, regardless of the subject's actual vision quality. How this occurs is currently unknown, though testing is ongoing. It was found in a toiletries case and in the bathroom room of room blank of the blank blank hotel during a raid called in to investigate the reports of data expunged. The saline solution found accompanying 588 was determined to be normal, so any standard solution may be used. No other extraordinary items were found in the bathroom. 1 includes 10 red contact lenses. Testing with these lenses met with initial difficulty as subjects immediately complained of blinding light even when they closed their eyes. Repeated testing in different locations finally revealed that these lenses allow a wearer to visually perceive electromagnetic emissions of a longer wavelength than visual light. Since the Earth is usually blanketed with radio wave communication, which passes through flesh eyelids, these most often display blinding amounts of light. In shielded underground facilities, however, it is easier to manage, provided inter-facility radio communication is restricted. Subjects reported seeing infrared radiation in a way similar to night vision goggles, though the color seen was not exactly red. Test subjects have had great difficulty in expressing the color seen, but they are adamant that the lenses do not simply convert light or red, but actually show a distinctly new color. They simply lack the language to describe it properly. 2 includes 10 violet contact lenses. Testing with Group 2 was more successful than 1 as initial tests took place inside. However, when test subjects were allowed to view outside, daylight was significantly brighter than normal and several personnel had their vision permanently damaged due to the sudden exposure. Tests indicate that these lenses, inverse to the red lenses, allow wearers to perceive wavelengths shorter than visual light. The addition of the ultraviolet radiation from the sun to already intense visible light means that direct sunlight is simply too intense to view comfortably. Test subjects were also able to see X-rays coming from a nearby medical examination room. Testing with gamma rays is being planned, though researchers are unsure if they might harm too. 3 includes 10 green contact lenses. Testing the lenses of Group 3 revealed that rather than allowing a wearer to perceive wavelengths previously invisible, the green lenses enhance the colors of the visible spectrum to a high degree. Test subjects reported an unparalleled vividness of color and clarity in normally dull objects. A Class D personnel with a history of drug use reported a similar experience to the use of some hallucinogens, though much more consistent and vivid. So far, the only adverse effects observed have been headaches and eye strain after looking at particularly colorful images and objects. 4 includes 10 gray contact lenses. Subjects wearing lenses from Group 4 report being able to only see in grayscale. However, it was quickly noticed that somehow, subjects' field of vision had been expanded. While normal humans have 140-degree field of binocular vision with 40-degree peripheral vision, 20 each on the right and left, testing indicated subjects' binocular vision covered 210%, while the peripheral covered an additional 60, 30 on each side. That's a percent degrees, not percent. Test subjects experienced severe vertigo when moving for approximately the first 30 minutes of wearing 4. After adjusting, subjects were able to move around without difficulty, were pleased by the greater visibility, though most complained of headaches. Subjects also reported that their distance vision seemed sharper, even though subjects who had possessed 20/20 vision naturally. When Professor Blankety Blank theorized their increased field of vision is due in some way to a bending of perspective, researchers asked subjects to attempt to focus on an open doorway. Approximately 1 in 3 subjects was able to bend their vision around a corner and see a brief glimpse into the hallway. All subjects attempting this, even those who failed, experienced mild to severe migraines immediately afterwards. Further testing to understand and to take advantage of 4 is ongoing. 5 includes 6 black contact lenses. Currently, only disposable dudes should be allowed to test 5. When testing these lenses, approximately 3 in 5 subjects immediately lost consciousness. Those remaining consciousness immediately shut their eyes and began to shake violently, demanding the contacts be removed. Several subjects harmed themselves in the lenses trying to remove them, resulting in the loss of 4 lenses and a number of disposable dudes. When subjects were restrained and forced to open their eyes, all immediately degenerated into sobbing and incoherent babbling. Most subjects will black out shortly after this point. To date, 2 subjects have remained conscious and open-eyed with 5 in their eyes. The first, disposable dude 75532-2, stared blankly straight ahead and seemed unresponsive to stimuli, even pain. Oh, it was a disposable dudette, my bad. She was observed to mutter continually, but no words were discerned. After the lenses were removed, they went into a catatonic state, in which she remains in the medical wing of research site blank. An interview with the second, Class D personnel 344219, is appended as document 5585A, which it is actually here. It is theorized by Professor Scully Blank and Dr. Blank based on the interview that the lenses somehow allow subjects to perceive time, often called the 4th dimension, in a visual way. It seems that the average psyche is not capable of handling the increased perspective, and in most cases the mind turns inward, causing unconsciousness and memory loss consistent with dissociative amnesia. Experimentation is ongoing in an effort to further understand 5, specifically if they enable the wearer to see points in time other than the present. Researchers are hopeful given that testing has revealed a wearer's ability to control the effects of 4. Priority is given to testing involving possibilities of precognition. Addendum. During routine evaluations, approximately 3 in 4 persons who had worn 5 had exhibited signs of severe depression and anxiety. Moreover, 1 in 3 had instances of self-mutilation, usually of the eyes, often accompanied by suicidal tendencies. And here's that document. I'm going to ask again. What did you see? What was that? Web. Web? Elaborate, please? It's a web. What is a web? It's damn sure not a line! And it's not a circle either, it's a fucking infinite web! Are you referring to what you saw? You were able to see a web? Look, why don't you put the damn things in? Then you'll understand! Then you'll know! Where was this web? Everywhere! Where do you think it was? Shaking becomes more violent, security called in to assist restraint. I ask again, what do you think it was? It was you! It was me! It was everyone in the world! All connected, branching out, who they were, who they'll be, and the depth of everything was there! The end. Dark. They let me see all the edges, all the way. So dark. I don't understand. Pray to God that you never do. Begins to hyperventilate, and they are sedated. Okay, so time was a web, and they were able to see all of it at once, and it drove them insane. Now it's birthday time! Which is Euclid. If it had been Keter, I'd have been concerned. 559 is to be stored appropriately, for any object that it has taken the form of, within its secure safe containing 3 other baked items inaccessible to those below level 3 security clearance. Usage of 559 is only to be done under the supervision of level 4 or higher personnel with prior approval. As of the time of writing, 559 is a round vanilla birthday cake. However, its powers have been observed to exist in other baked items like rolls, puffs, or cupcakes. What's a puff? Alright, I already googled the other thing. Whichever item 559 has subverted in this manner is easily identified by the words BIRTHDAY TIME! Marked out in green icing. Materials testing has returned this icing to be regular green icing with no unusual traits. When lit candles are placed into 559, they cannot be extinguished by any means by someone who is not celebrating their birthday. However, they can be put out people by whose birthday falls on that day, termed birthdayers for convenience, upon which the subject will have their age changed to the equivalent of the number of candles on 559. This effect lasts for 24 hours before the subject reverts to their original age. Testing has revealed several other properties. 559 seems to regard anything burning as a candle regardless of its size or orientation. Matchsticks, fireworks, and even high explosives have been used, and when stuck into 559, all were easily blown out by birthdayers. Tests have been conducted with a number of candles from 1 to above 900. Such a high age surprisingly brings about no directly related health problems, and the effects of existing health conditions, weak heart, asthma, etc., are reduced when aged in this manner. In fact, 87% of those who were aged above 500 years old survived the full 24 hours, although were physically weakened in their age state as expected. When the 24 hours are up, the subject immediately reverts to the original age within a span of 20 microseconds, and retains full memory of the period where the age was altered. If 559 is used in the above manner, or if a slice is cut from it, its current host item will lose its unique properties and green icing, and the nearest intact baked item will gain them instead. It has been observed to travel in this fashion over 25 kilometers of sea, and this property thus led to difficulties during location and retrieval of the object. Retrieval log. An item containing 559 emerged from a bakery in blank, data expunged. It was bought by a family, and when used to celebrate an 82-year-old's birthday, 8 big candles and 2 small candles were placed on the cake. The act of blowing out the candles transformed the birthdayer into a 10-year-old, and the alarmed family contacted 911 as a first instinct. Routine monitoring of the 911 call centers alerted the Foundation to its presence, and after making suitable negotiations with the family for secrecy, the spent cake was secured. However, after testing was done, it was realized that 559 was still in the public domain, and this sparked a hunt for all baked goods similar to the original cake. It was eventually located after it took on the form of a puff pastry, the green icing betraying its unnatural properties, and has since been secured. Addendum 1. Although we appreciate test subjects attempting to gather data for us, seeing as birthdays are only once a year, I would like to remind everyone that there should always be at least one failsafe baked item nearby to contain 559 after usage. Recently there was one usage which had no backup item. Fortunately the staff canteen was serving cupcakes that day. Consider yourselves warned, Dr. Reg. Next, and last but not least of this episode anyway, is the Bitwise Amoeba. Whatever the hell that means. Well, it's safe and, what? Image in the early stages of 560 corruption. Oh, the image! Okay. I thought it was saying that the amoeba was a pyramid. SCP-560 is to be kept on a Foundation archival quality optical storage medium at least blank gigabytes in size. This medium should be accessed at least once per month using the standalone desktop computer within 560's containment unit. After the computer ceases to function, the medium should be placed in a shock-proof case, specification blank blank blank. Pursuant to Foundation secure wipe protocols, the blank drive should be discarded through civilian avenues and replaced with a wipe-ready drive from Site Blank Research. Testing on workstations with any network access or removable media other than 560 storage unit is prohibited by Level 4 order. Description: 560 is a single digital life form of indeterminate origin. Viewed through a binary or hex editor, 560 appears as a pattern of bits which travels through the data structure of the storage medium it occupies. Analysis of 560's bit structure is ongoing. It behaves similarly to certain kinds of malicious software. Before the Foundation's discovery of the lifeform in blank, amateur researchers, not amateur researchers, on the blank message boards had discovered a pattern in appearances of the creature's spent data, attributing it to a particularly prolific virus. Rather than administer amnesiacs, which is supposed to be amnestics, Foundation personnel removed 560 and allowed the board to continue their project. The message board recently celebrated the blank anniversary of investigation into 560. When introduced into a digital habitat, 560 begins processing the contents of the storage medium. It is currently hypothesized that the lifeform metabolizes data in a manner similar to amoeba, engulfing data within itself and excreting corrupted images, text files, executables, videos, and sound files. This corruption proceeds gradually on each individual file as the lifeform moves from file to file while feeding. It shows a high preference for files containing sensitive data. Dr. Blank theorizes that encrypted, compressed, or high-density data provides 560 with a large amount of metabolic energy. This preference makes it ideal for use in Foundation secure wipe protocols. Unlike a computer virus, it does not deposit copies of itself in corrupted files. Current speculation is that 560 reproduces through redacted. However, as there are no extant redacted, I guess that's supposed to be like a whole sentence or something? As 560's feeding process proceeds, it consumes data at an exponential rate, its feeding efficiency increasing in tandem with the amount of data consumed. After wiping a storage medium, it enters a cryptobiotic state. Given a tiny amount of information, 560 can survive indefinitely. It was contained by Foundation personnel during an engineered failure of Blank's content servers on April something something. The organism entered its cryptobiotic state and was successfully retrieved shortly thereafter. Given the recent redacted, any leak of information pertaining to it is punishable by summary termination. Addendum: Viewing of materials corrupted by 560 on a 3D capable television or through stereoscopic, linearly polarized, or circular polarized glasses is prohibited. Revision: This includes 3D capable video game systems. Okay, that's strange. Who was trying it on video game systems? I guess we'll never know because that's where it stops. So, that about does it for this episode of the SCP Foundation Wiki. This has been Anachi Sasuke. If you liked it, a like and subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. In the next one, we're going to be starting with a passive rip in time and going up through Revel Rousers, an abandoned farm in China, an incomplete primitive cyborg, and Ed's head. So, thanks again, and I will see y'all in the next one. Later.